Ron is driven. I'm honored to be here. Yes, I am his brother. He's a little worried sitting back there that I may embarrass him. Ron, I won't do that. Much. Ron is tenacious. He's got vision. A lot of vision. He thought about HomeServices as a company probably 20 years ago. And you couldn't talk to him without him getting in your face, saying, what about if we did this? How about this? There's brand value. I sound like a marketer, Dave, I guess, in local branding, in a name. There's monetary value to these entrepreneurs that built a real estate company. And they're now 55, 60, 70. Who are they going to sell it to? If you sell to a franchise, you lose the name value. So Ron, 15 years ago, decided that these owners that built these companies needed a place to get some monetary return from the value and the brand they built. So every company in HomeServices carries their original name, like Edina Realty. That was built in Edina. It's a great namesake in the Minneapolis area, certainly spread across St. Paul and now the state. But I'll tell you, not every vision Ron had worked out. He doesn't like hearing about it, but growing up in Minnesota, we spent a weekend at a friend's, my mother's friend's cabin. And Ron had this great vision. We could water ski without getting wet. I said, okay. And I have two other brothers besides Ron. We're all sitting on the dock. Ron says, well, look, we can start on the dock, slalom ski, one ski, jump off the dock, ski, and come back and plan it just right and step up on the dock when we're done. Well, Ron really operates under a well-known business model. Plan, execute, measure, and correct. Well, he had a good plan. We could do that. We'll try it. I'm not sure he executed right, but when Ron came in, when it was all done, his shins were about shattered, and he was laying face first on the dock. Didn't really work. So, but it's about the only one that didn't work out. Not really. There's more. We went down. I got to tell you, it's just too funny. So, my mother grew up on a farm, and young kids were down there. They didn't have a horse. Ron really wanted to ride a horse, but they didn't have one. But the pig had 4 legs. So Ron jumped on the pig in the pig stall. And I tell you how that happened. I don't think he had a plan or anything. But it was long, stinky ride home with the windows open in the car. That plan didn't work. And I sit here tonight and I think about the others being inducted into the Hall of Fame, even my brother Ron. You wonder how they tick. What makes them so special? What goes off in their brain that makes them multi-rich, loved, which Ron is, and I'm sure the rest, followed, respected. Ron's got a table of his lovely, lovely wife, high school sweetheart, his son, JP, his wife, Melissa, his daughter, Janae, her husband, Eric. He's got a table of friends that keep him humble, and he's got 2 tables of co-workers that respect him. How does that happen? He cares. He cares about people. He gives of his time. So, in high school, Ron was a National Honor Society. I never made that. I don't know what it was and don't really care. He thought it was a big deal. But his teacher went back, and after going to Washington, he thought about politics. Good thing he didn't go there. Came back, and his teacher said, "That kid's smart." I felt it. Mom and Dad beamed that they have one smart kid anyway. Ron went to, as 4 boys growing up, east side of St. Paul, worked for a concrete company, flat work, had a boss, Italian, loved to go to the bar at lunch, never came back or after lunch, but his name was Leonard. And Leonard, every time in the summer, would come back and say, "That Ronnie, he's got stamina." Yeah, I did. Ron played hockey at the U. You saw the photo. No, he's not a big guy, right? He was captain of the team, played for Glenn Salmore. Glenn would say, he's not the biggest guy on the ice. You saw this photo, looked like he got beat up in this photo for this thing tonight. So it wasn't tough. But Glenn would say, he's got tenacity. So you think about what makes them tick. And I'm totally honored to be here tonight to tell you what I think makes him tick. Besides being well-read, just a plain nice guy, hard worker, I believe on our east side upbringing, really means and feels you give an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. He does it every day, and he expects that every day. But you think about a little vision, a little smarts, a little stamina, and a little tenacity gets you into the Minnesota Hall of Fame. I want to introduce my brother, my much older brother, Ron Peltier.
Well, I have to tell you, I've been worried for the last 3 days. What in the world is my brother going to say? So now you know. Bob, I love you. Bob exemplifies everything about our company and about our family. Bob experienced a life-threatening stroke about 5 years ago, and had to teach himself how to virtually do everything again, and continues to drive unbelievable results at Edina Realty, a name that you all know. And Bob, we love you, and thanks for that. I would, thanks. I'd like to thank Twin Cities Magazine for this incredible honor, and I'm humbled by all the people that have preceded me and the fellow inductees this evening. Incredibly honored, but more humbled than honored, and I hope that I can live up to the Hall of Fame expectations. Forever and a day, I always wanted to be in the Hall of Fame of the athletic world, but I like the business world better. So, HomeServices might be the biggest company that you have absolutely no idea who they are and what we do. But if I could give you just a bit of a background and how we got where we are, it might put some perspective on things. I think all of you know Edina Realty. It's the largest brokerage firm in the state of Minnesota. On a standalone basis, it'd be about the third largest company in the country in the real estate space. And so I'll take you back about 30 years ago, and when brokerage was brokerage, it was a kinder, gentler time in the business, and we said, there's a real interesting business opportunity, to expand beyond brokerage and provide a full service business model in our space. And a full service business model was providing brokerage services, but oh, by the way, helping people finance the home, provide title insurance, and property and casualty insurance. The four core services, the four core things that take place at the transfer of a deed. And so in the early 80s, we began to build out at Edina Realty, a relatively small company at the time, a regional company, a Twin Cities company that, I was very much a part of, and leading the drive to grow that company. And we found traction and found, a real footing in providing what the consumer really wants is a full service offering. And through much of the 80s, we built that model out. And it really came to us that, this is an interesting business model, and that we could take this business model beyond the Twin Cities. So we started to expand beyond the Twin Cities and throughout the state of Minnesota, kind of crossed the gigantic river of St. Croix and went into western Wisconsin, and then we went into North Dakota, and we got further confidence that this is an interesting business model, that we can provide premier homeownership services to our customers and clients who, regardless of their stature in life, know nothing about real estate, know nothing about the complexities of buying and selling of a home, and it's our real true mission to provide a premier consumer experience. And we found that had traction, and we began to gain confidence as conservative Midwesterners, and I'm a native of Minnesota, and I think like a Minnesotan, and when I talk around the country, I talk like a Minnesotan. And, some of you can relate to that when you get outside the boundaries of Minnesota. And we figured out that this business model had legs and had traction, and we decided to expand in other markets in the upper Midwest. We expanded and acquired a company in Iowa, acquired a company in Kansas and in Nebraska, and found that this worked, taking a business model of full service, integrated real estate. And so what I would tell you is the business that we're in is not real estate, we're home ownership services. We're in the brokerage services, we're in the mortgage, we're in the title, we're in the property and casualty insurance, all the things that take place when you transfer a deed. And this was an exciting opportunity, and an epiphany hit us at one point in time, said, we can create a national footprint, leaving our egos on the table and moving this, not changing the brands to Edina Realty, because frankly, there's great brand equity and tremendously respected real estate companies in markets across the country. And so in 1998, we formed a company called HomeServices of America. And it was really founded on the operating principles and practices that we learned growing and developing a full-service business model at Edina Realty. And we began to expand. And you know, I say this lovingly, and I clearly would tell you that we have, I said it's humbling. Nothing good happens without a lot of good people. When I was playing sports, I clearly knew I only played team sports, and I recognized that, you know, any success that you have is totally dependent on your teammates. And I've got a couple of tables here of great Edina people that have been with Edina for many, many, many years, and the HomeServices people that have been with us since the inception and really were part of great companies before we formed HomeServices. And they're really deserving of this honor, not me. I just happen to be the guy standing up here taking all the credit for something I don't deserve. But I would just say this, that we built a great business model. We got our traction in the upper Midwest, and some of you can relate to this if you've got national operations. I got really trepidation because I was told that, you know, the people on both coasts had a different appetite for risk in everything, including home ownership. And so I said, we're never going to buy a company where we can smell salt, where you can get close to the coast. But we did. In 2002, we bought a company in Southern California. 2003, we bought a company in Miami, and we got really comfortable with the companies in the areas that they now call the states that are fun and sun states. And, you know, it's okay. And then we started filling back in. So HomeServices of America today is the second largest enterprise of its kind in the world. We are a full-service enterprise of brokerage, mortgage, title insurance. We're coast to coast. We've got a few markets yet to fill in, but we are clearly a major player in the space. Our vision and our mission is to create a superior home ownership experience in the buying and selling process of real estate. About a year ago, we took another step in that we bought a major real estate network, the Prudential Real Estate Network. We now own that. 2 months from now, we will launch, and I'm incredibly humbled and proud to tell you that we are launching Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. We're a Berkshire Hathaway company. 3 weeks ago in Barron's magazine, Berkshire Hathaway was recognized as the most revered, recognized brand around the world. We're the only company in the Berkshire Hathaway network that has the name and the branding. We will take the brand across the country, Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, in the real estate space, and we will go across the globe. We will create the global brand in the real estate space, franchising our name, our business model around the world. It's been a great journey in the last 30 years. We're in the very early stages, and I'm incredibly humbled to be the guy at the helm, but the opportunity has just begun, and there's miles to go before we rest. We've built a great company with great people, and it's built to last, and it's going to be the brand in the future. So God bless all of you. Thank you for this opportunity.